Hello, welcome to your assembly for today. I hope everybody's all right. Our assemblies at the moment are going to be about a positive mindset and about knowing that we can learn and that we can be absolutely amazing. And I'm recording this on Tuesday evening. It's about 5:30, and I've been teaching some of the children in Year 6, and they've been amazing because they learned new stuff. And they sat there going, oh, yeah, yes. Because it's a really good feeling when you do something new for the first time. So have a think about something that you have done today for the very first time, where you've had that feeling and you've gone, yes, that's brilliant. Right? Share that with somebody else in the room. Share it with your teacher. Share it with your friend. Right, let's see from the teachers. What moments have you had where you've gone, yes, that's brilliant, I've done that. Well done, and brilliant. Everybody's got those things. For me, it was my cooking last night. I was cooking something that I hadn't cooked before, ingredients I hadn't used before, and I ate it and I was like, whoa, this is really good. So we all have those moments, and it makes us feel good to look back and think, hey, this is pretty cool. I can do this now. We learn new skills. How do we learn new skills? How do we do it? What part of our body helps us to learn new skills? Is it our little fingers? Is it our noses? That's right. It's your brain. Everybody point to where you have your brain located. You got it? Well done. So I'm going to share a book with you called Your Fantastic Elastic Brain by Joanne Deek, who is a doctor, and illustrated by Sarah Ackley. And this is really, really cool because it explains about how your brain works. And I think this is really, really interesting. I really enjoy reading about this sort of thing, about how your brain works. So we're going to learn a little bit today about your fantastic elastic brain. So here we go. What does your brain really do? Does it just fill the space between your ears there? Hello in there, says the bird. All I see is that pink stuff. Well, yes, it does fill that space in your head, but actually your brain can do so much more. Your brain helps you think and remember and name what you see and what you hear. It lets you move your body and feel, touch, so things that you can see in front of you, but also your emotions in your heart. So your brain manages all of those different things. So when you remember what Miss Webb has told you about where you put your full stops, or when you remember about which letters are special friends, or when you remember about a rule that we have in school on the playground, it's your brain that helps you do those things. And when you feel pleased with yourself for doing them, when you feel that positivity, that yes, it's your brain that's helping you to do that. So your brain does all the things that makes you you. It might be that you like red foods, or that you know about global landmarks. It might be you're good at science, or you enjoy reading books about pirates. It might be you're a table tennis champion. I've got loads of those in school. It might be because your favorite word is elbow. And why not? Because elbow is a really good word. I've got a funny story about the word elbow, but I'm not going to tell you now. You'll have to come remind me to tell you when you see me around school. So the brain, so what is your brain? Is it a muscle? Muscles in your body? No, the brain is an organ. It's something that actually works in your body. It's made up of cells and tissue. It controls everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel, even everything you dream. So when I dreamt that I'd got lots of red hair last night, that was my brain telling me all of that. I don't know why I dreamt that. And the brain has got many parts that do all different kinds of jobs. There's the cerebrum, the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, and the cerebellum. Okay, so we're going to learn about each one of those different things. So the cerebrum is the largest part of your brain, kind of the top of your head there, and it helps you think and speak. Okay. It helps you think and speak, controls all that language. The cerebellum, which is at the back of your head, a small part at the back of the brain that helps your muscles to coordinate your movement and your balance so that you can walk, ride a bike, or play tig. So the cerebellum there, that bit at the back of your brain, helps to manage your movements. The prefrontal cortex is there. It's just behind your forehead, and it lets you make plans and decisions. So it helps you to think rationally, think logically. So this one is the amygdala. It's a tiny section. Can you see just there in the middle of the brain there? Deep within the center of the brain, it controls emotions. So if you're excited or angry or embarrassed or happy or sad or frightened, all of those things are controlled by that tiny, tiny bit called the amygdala. It's very, very powerful. The hippocampus is at the center of the brain, so right there in the middle of the brain. And it works like a filing cabinet and helps you store and find your memories. So you put things into this filing cabinet or this folder, and that's the hippocampus. It's where you store all of that stuff. So when you remember that Henry VIII had 6 wives, or when you remember that William Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet, that's coming from your hippocampus in your brain. Now there's neurons. Neurons are everywhere in your brain. They're tiny brain cells that make electrical signals to send messages to other cells in your body telling them what to do. So it's like having roads or the signal pathways in your brain. So the neurons, they send these electrical signals from your brain, starting down there to your muscles, telling your body what to do. Now, when you were born, you were very little. Your brain was small and it was not very strong. But as you get older, your body grows and gets stronger. And as part of your body, your brain grows and it learns to do new things. And you can make your brain do even more. Your brain grows really, really fast during the first 10 years of your life. So where you guys are, your brain is growing really fast. And this is the magic decade when you can help your brain grow faster and be more powerful. Just like lifting weights helps your muscles get stronger, learning new things strengthens your brain. And you can give your brain a good workout by trying to learn as many different things as you like. And the thing that's really cool is that the more you learn, the better you are at learning. So like elastic bands that stretch when you pull them, or that you, even things that are hard at first, or like things that you don't like to do, get easier when you do them again and again and again. Okay, so if you do something again and again, it becomes better over time. It becomes easier over time. The more you learn, the easier it is to learn stuff. So in the example, we've got the child who is missing the ball when he kicks it. And now it's going between the legs and heading the ball, getting better, and then even an over the head kick. So the first time you played soccer, you probably couldn't kick the ball or score many goals. But as you keep going to practices, you learn more about the rules of the game and follow the coach's directions. The muscles in your legs and feet get stronger, your movements are more coordinated, and then you can run further and faster. And learning more and practicing what you learned lets you play better and have more fun. Practice really does make perfect, or at least much better. And all of this is to do with the brain. If the part of the body that controls the emotions, the amygdala, recognizes that you're happy when you play football, it recognizes that you're determined, it controls the muscles and coordinates the movement. So your brain is responsible for your football playing. And even if you make a mistake when you're learning something new, you're still training your brain. You'll remember that mistake and try something else until you eventually get it right. And making mistakes is one of the best ways that your brain learns and grows. If you're not willing to risk being wrong, you won't take the chances that stretch your elastic brain. So being wrong is actually pretty cool because you can get better from doing it. You can learn more because you learn different ways to do things. And it's about how you acquire those new skills, and your resilience, because you still keep doing it. So you stretch the part of your brain that controls your feelings as well. If you're frightened about taking a risk, like learning to swim, finding the courage to put your face in the water, it stretches your amygdala. It reminds you that you overcame fear. So you'll be braver next time something scares you, like diving into the water. So think of something that you've done for the first time that you were scared about. Okay, now it might be jumping into the water like this, but then the second time it was easier, and then the third time it was even easier. But actually what you're teaching your brain is that it's okay to be scared because you can do it. You can still do something. So learning something new causes the brain to grow more connections among the neurons. And with these connections, the neurons can send and receive more messages. Now, these connections help to stretch a part of the brain and make it more elastic so it can hold more information and ideas. But how does that actually work? So, neuro, that means the word it is part of has something to do with the brain. A sculptor molds, shapes, or carves things out of clay or wood or stone. So you shape your brain when you make it bigger by adding new things you know you can do. You are a neurosculptor. So you are actually shaping your brain and helping to make it work. When you learn something new, you're building on what you've already learned. You've got that prior learning. So when you start a maths lesson, you might start by thinking about the facts that you already know. Or in a geography lesson, you might get a quiz about the things that you learned last week. And in the same way the muscles in your body work together when you want to lift a heavy object or kick a ball, the different parts of your brain work together when you're learning something new. The amygdala makes you want to learn to do something. The cerebrum helps you to decide to practice. The cerebellum calls up the memory of watching and listening when your teacher showed you how to do something. And then your cerebellum sends messages through neurons to the muscles in your wrists and hands and fingers so you can hit the right notes. So the next time you want to do something, the parts of your brain and body know how to work together and you can do things more easily, whether it's playing a song or anything else. The brain that makes you really is an amazing organ. It controls what you think, do, and remember and feel. Your brain is growing very fast during the first 10 years of your life, and now we know that you can help it grow. And when you try hard to learn something new, connections grow from neurons and attach to other neurons. Then your brain can send messages faster, making part of your brain bigger and stronger. Making mistakes really helps you learn because your brain keeps trying new things and stretching until you figure out the answer to your problem. You are shaping a more elastic brain when you learn things that build on what you already know. And the more different kind of things you learn and think about, the more you can learn, know, and enjoy. The harder you try without giving up, the more you'll learn. You really can train your brain to be fit and strong and to keep stretching and growing throughout your whole life. So there's loads of science that's been done that if you do lots of puzzles, loads of research has been done. If you do lots of puzzles, it keeps your brain working for longer. So people who do crosswords and Sudokus and things like that, their brains are active for longer. So there's that reminder of those parts of the brain. So talk about it in class. Remind your teacher, what are those different parts of the brain? What do they do? Your teacher can ask you and check, because it's about remembering. So you can remember what the prefrontal cortex does, what the hippocampus does, how the amygdala controls the emotions, the cerebrum helps you think. Now, all of those things are to do with our learning and about how if you have that positive mindset, you can learn. Everybody's brain can work in a certain way. Everybody can learn new things. And it might be that you find one thing harder than others. So I don't want you to shout this out. Think about something. Think about something you find really difficult. Okay? Now, it might be something that other people find really, really easy. Now think back to when you had never heard of it. So it might be, I don't know, let me think. If you find learning your times tables really hard, think back to when you were in reception and you barely knew any numbers at all. Now you know those numbers. Now you can add those numbers. Now you can take away those numbers. You've done all that learning. And it's just that next step. You've done so many other things. But also, if you find that bit of maths really hard, what can you do really well? That's the question. What can you do really well? Because everybody's got something they can do that is absolutely amazing. So you might find learning your times tables difficult, but you're the most amazing singer. It might be that you find dancing and being coordinated a bit tricky, but you can write amazing poetry. There's loads of different things. Everybody's got all of these talents, and they all depend on our brains. Have a lovely rest of the day, guys. Bye-bye.